this is your time to stand out. What keeps people coming back and what delivers the value is the storytelling and the value itself. The simplest framework that I always come back to is like
author, content creator, and founder of Cortex, Dan Coe.
All of my content falls under, I want to help people become future-proof. A lot of people, they say they're starting a business. They don't actually try to get the result of starting a business, which is money. They waste a bunch of time doing things that don't matter, and then they switch to something else and just start over.
Some people think that everything has to be far too polished as well, which can often act as a barrier.
The money came quite fast once you knew like the levers to pull. So that's the entire puzzle, is like find the levers, pull them.
What was the thing that worked for you?
I mean, it's so simple. You just have to.
Now, before we jump into today's episode, I just want to mention that this podcast is brought to you by me and everything that I have built to help you guys level up. If you want to transform your physique, build muscle, lose body fat, build strength, then you have the Thirst app. This has everything inside that you could possibly need to get yourself in shape, to hold yourself accountable as well. I also have the Digital Playbook, which is a step-by-step guide to help you guys build a following, monetize the following, and also build a strong personal brand. This is everything which I have done over the past nearly 10 years to allow myself to live a life of financial freedom and also geographical freedom. I can basically do whatever I want. Life is good. And I also have my newsletter, which has been revamped, where I'll share exclusive podcast insights, my raw thoughts on business, fitness, and much, much more. So if you're interested about any of those, check out the description. You'll find the links to all of them. So let's get cracking with the episode. Dan Coe, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you, man. Good to be here.
I've come all the way here just for you.
Just for me.
For those of you who don't know, I'm in Arizona.
Yeah.
And it's the first time I've been here. And to be honest, I should probably thank you because I don't think I would have ever come here.
Yeah, a lot of people wouldn't, but Scottsdale's like a quiet place. I think of it, I feel like Scottsdale's still underrated in terms of like entrepreneurs being there, because right now there's like LA, New York, Austin, in America at least. And I think, I don't know, Scottsdale's like for the introverts of that crowd. Yeah. So that's where I am.
Yeah, because the thing about America is it is quite, somebody said this once, that it's like overall an aggressively extroverted place. And for introverts, I can imagine. I mean, even for me, sometimes when I'm walking around and you hear people just like,
yeah,
they're quite loud and they're quite vocal. And if you want to keep yourself to yourself, it's maybe not the best place. Depends where you are.
Yeah. I just got back from San Diego and I live downtown there. And it just made me realize how much I appreciate just having a quiet place to walk.
Yeah.
Because the quality of the walks are so much different because you can actually think. And when there's just people and cars all around you, it's very difficult. You can still think, but it's a lot easier when you're alone and drowning in sweat out here.
Yeah. Because you said before you're very big on walks, but I was thinking like right now, there's not going to be much walking.
I still do it. It's just brutal.
Yeah.
You have to shower every 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's literally, I'm actually surprised how hot it is. I think it's a little bit hotter than Dubai is right now, but Dubai has the humidity, which is just adds that extra discomfort, but this is like a very dry heat.
Yeah.
But have you been here your whole life?
Most of it. I was born in Texas, moved around, ended up in college here, then moved to Austin for a bit, came back, moved to San Diego for a bit, came back. I just keep coming back. Seems like
this is your spot.
Yeah.
Nice. What were you like at university?
A loser. I mean, well, I guess not a loser. I would say I was a paradox, right? Because I was the typical college bro that would party and drink every weekend, usually throughout the week as well. But I was still very focused on trying to make some kind of business work, because the entire purpose of me going to college was to create like this buffer to work on things so that I never had to get a job. So I was a straight A student in high school. And then when I got to college, I was just straight C, like C's get degrees, and switched around majors so many different times.
That's quite funny because that's very similar to me.
Yeah.
In school, I did really good because I'd worked my ass off to study for the exams. And then as soon as I got to university, it was like, university was the big thing that you worked towards. And then I'd got there and it was like, well, what next? And then you find out that
you start to realize it.
Yeah.
You're like, oh,
And I chose economics and business management. I don't know what you did.
Marketing.
Marketing, yeah.
Yeah.
And I bet similar thing to me, you realized that the people that were teaching you were just
Yeah.
people who actually had no experience. They were just explaining theory, which didn't really, like when I went to university, I just wanted to learn how to run a business and make money.
Yeah.
And I didn't really learn that
Yeah.
at all. And then I realized that after the first year, and then I had no motivation to continue to study all this theory. And then I literally just scraped to pass.
Yeah. If you want to start a business, just start a business.
Yeah.
That simple. Make mistakes.
Yeah.
Fuck it all up and you're good.
Yeah. You had your fair share of trying lots of different things, didn't you?
I did. Yep. I haven't officially counted. I say 7 different business models. In reality, when I started those, I just became I love the idea of like building the website, creating the logo, getting the business ready. But then when it came time to get customers or reach out, I just didn't know what I was doing. And so I kind of just switched to the next thing because I'm like, oh, this doesn't work. So I feel like a lot of people do that without realizing it. Is they say they're starting a business. They don't actually try to get the result of starting a business, which is money. And then they waste a bunch of time doing things that don't matter. And then they switch to something else and just start over. So I did this circular motion where I started in web design, or I started learning that in school. That's what got me so excited about it. Tried the drop shipping stuff, bought a course on that, tried SEO agency, tried an actual e-commerce brand multiple times, like ordered the product. It was just off Alibaba, but ordered the product, so on and so forth, tried all those. But the good thing about that, and why like making mistakes is so important and learning by doing is the only way to learn, is all of those skills finally compounded into it clicking for me, where I had this intersection of everything where I'm like, oh, okay, this is how you get customers. And then the next time I started one, I was just able to go straight into that. And then it wasn't immediate, but the money came quite fast once you knew like the levers to pull. So that's the entire puzzle, is like find the levers, pull them.
What was the thing that worked for you?
Understanding that, I mean, it's so simple. You just have to understand traffic and sales. That's an iffy way to put it. What I'm saying is, like, if you have a service, take whatever you're selling, a product, service, you have to get people to look at it, and it has to be valuable enough or perceived as valuable enough for them to buy it. So me, when I started in web design, came back to web design, that was the first thing that I saw some form of success with freelancing. And after taking the dropshipping course, Facebook ads course, I'm like, oh, okay, I can run ads. Okay, I could do SEO to get people to this, or cold outreach, cold DMs. So I kind of just spammed all of them and got referrals and so on and so forth. We can go into that if we want, but eventually I started on social media because I saw people selling web design services there. And I was already DMing people on LinkedIn, doing all of that fun stuff, and started posting content, really liked it. And then my audience started to grow. And now I'm like, oh, okay, I have people who are actually interested in this stuff right here. That's when like the second click happened, is like, if I can learn how to write decent content that people find value in, get that spread to people, have something to offer, those connect, and you can optimize that process as much as you want, but those are the pieces to making money.
Yeah. What was the platform you started on first?
Twitter.
Okay.
Oddly enough, yeah.
What, you were just talking about web design?
No, some people get that wrong. It's going to sound silly in this context, but I talk about the concept of you are the niche quite often. And as social media goes, people provide different perspectives to that, and they say, oh, that doesn't work. And I've been the topic of those conversations where they're like, oh, Dan Coe says you are the niche, but he started off in only web design, and that's what he talked about, when in reality I was talking about self-improvement, emotional management, all of the things that I was interested in at the time, spirituality, web design sometimes, but never really directly about web design, right?
Yeah.
Because I wasn't targeting people who were interested in web design. That's like the crucial point that a lot of people miss when they start on social media, is they think they have to target people who are already interested in what you're selling, when if you can create interest, right, you can make people interested in it by being persuasive, then it doesn't matter who's interested in it or not. So
Yeah.
a easy example of this is like a social media post. If you want to become more valuable, learn web design. Why? Because you can create your own business out of it. You can freelance for other people's businesses. You can create a website for your own business, and then people start to realize, oh, that's why web design is useful. And so I'm indirectly creating interest in that topic while also like attracting people to my audience, which makes it easier for me to sell to them.
Yeah. What if there's somebody who's not sure of the product that they are going to sell? Would you just advise them to just post anything? Or would it make sense to already have an idea of something that you might sell and then create content which is going to increase the chances of you building an audience to want to buy that thing?
Yeah. I mean, it's very helpful if you know what you want to sell, because then that's kind of the frame for what you would create content around, and you can kind of work beginners up to becoming intermediates and advanced and so on and so forth. Right? If you don't know what you want to talk about, I personally think it's okay if you talk about whatever you want, as long as it has proven to be beneficial to your life, right? Because there has to be one, that's why you're posting content on the internet, unless you're an entertainer, which I would assume most people watching this aren't trying to be an entertainer. They're trying to provide some form of value and sell something on the back end of that. So what I would recommend, if you have no idea what you want to do, is one, just figure out what your interests already are, right? Look through your search history. Don't show your parents that. Look through.
Don't become a porn star.
Yeah. Look at your watch later on YouTube. Look at what you already consume. Look at the people that you follow. Just scroll social media and try to adopt the mind of a creator, and just see what other people are posting and think, can I post something similar? Do I already know this? Like, could I see myself in their shoes doing this? And a lot of the time you'll think yes, because if you're like us, you like self-improvement, you like getting new knowledge, acquiring new skills, then you have something that you can start talking about. You just have to reverse engineer how other people talk about it. So then you can start, and then it's cliche, but you just double down on what works from there.
I think if I look back at my journey, I was in an advantageous position because I wasn't exactly young. I wasn't like late teens, early 20s. I think when I really went hard into posting on YouTube, I was 26, and I'd already had a couple of years of coaching people in person. And that was when I made the transition from coaching people in person to wanting to start online coaching. And I knew I needed to build up a bit of demand. But I get a few questions from people who they almost wanted to follow in my footsteps, but the issue they had is that they were just too young. So imagine you're a teenager, 18, 19, 20 years old. Maybe you have a lot of knowledge about coaching and fitness, but you're a kid.
Yeah.
Like a 30-year-old, even a 25-year-old, a 35-year-old is not going to look at a 20-year-old and be like, hey, you be my coach.
Yeah.
So in a way, I think I've noticed a lot of the people who want to get into coaching and education are at a slight disadvantage, potentially the younger they are. How do they get around that?
Yeah, that one's difficult. Because I didn't start around the same time. I started seeing traction around the same time at like 24-ish, maybe.
You were doing it before that?
That's when I was like trying all the different business models and all that stuff. But what fitness coaching is a difficult one, because like they haven't had the time to develop their body. They're just very passionate about fitness, right? And there's still a lot that they are going to learn. In that case, and in most cases, it just comes down to positioning. Like if you want to sell something fitness related, you need to be a bit more creative with what you're going to sell, right? Fitness coaching for like, you're going to be potentially getting clients that are older than you. They're not necessarily going to see you as an authority figure, so on and so forth. You're not going to be taken seriously. But if you reposition as like, I'm trying to reach this goal. I'm trying to get 6-pack abs. I'm trying to bench this much, blah, blah, blah. You can build some kind of community around that for people that want to achieve those same goals. You're not positioning yourself as the all-knowing guru, the all-knowing authority figure. You're just positioning yourself as a guy that people can relate with, because it's very difficult to find that in today's world in your physical location, right? That's why people are on Reddit, people are on social media, is they're finding the people that are like-minded so that they have a community. And I think that's an awesome thing. So if you can position yourself as like the community builder, someone who's guiding people towards these things and providing the information that you have, you can do that if you're not positioning yourself as the authority or the guru, right? You can provide all the information you want in the community and help guide people through those things if you position yourself in the right way.
Because I'm trying to think like what I would have done if I was born 5 or 10 years later. So imagine it, like, I would have definitely been on social media. Yeah, everyone's on social media. I definitely got lucky with my genetics and the way I look, so I would have taken advantage of that. But I wouldn't have tried to be a coach at such an early age. So what I would have done is I just would have documented my journey, my transformation, and maybe made some, because when you're younger, you can get away with making stupid videos. You can try like these fun experiments or whatever it might be. Like collaborate with other influencers. And then, you know, it's crazy what you can do once you build a bit of a community and you have a bit of a following. Especially like I've noticed with the younger generation, if you're big on social media and you're in your like early 20s, you have a really engaged community. I feel like the followers who are maybe at a similar age range to you, they like everything, they comment on everything, and they share within each other. I notice that the older you get, people are a little bit more stingy with their likes. They're like, like I noticed that. I don't know, maybe I'm getting older, maybe my content is not as good anymore, but I feel like there's a lot of these up-and-comers in fitness people who are just getting like crazy engagement. And if you have the eyeballs on you, you can do these big brand deals and come out with your own merch or whatever it might be. So do you ever think about going down that route at one point? Because I could see you like to go to the gym.
Like merch?
No.
Fitness stuff. Dude, I used to be obsessed with it in high school. That's when I really got into it. It's funny we're doing this now because got into it in high school, super obsessed with it. That's when If It Fits Your Macros was becoming a thing. Tracked my calories religiously, was a super gym bro, squat, bench, deadlift, religious about it. And over time, I just started experimenting with different things and wasn't as detailed about what I was doing. I've been in the gym for probably over 10 years total. And as a whole, it wasn't until last week that I got a trainer and I realized the true value of getting a trainer. Because like right when I started talking to him, everything started clicking again, where I'm like, that's what I was missing. That's why the gym hasn't been like this thing that I love going to every day. And it lied in the details of it. Like I'm a very ordered person, like routined person. And
I get that
like
feeling.
I thrive when I just know what to do. Like my meals are planned out, my gym sessions are planned out, the progression plus 5 pounds every week or whatever it is. I was just kind of going into the gym and going to failure for like 8 sets a week per body part and eating relatively well. Since I tracked for so long, I knew about the range. I was staying lean, but I wasn't gaining or losing anything. And so all of that to say, I'm very excited to get back into being obsessed with the gym over the next.
So because you weren't tracking things and being quite strict and regimented with it, you lost enjoyment for it.
I still had enjoyment for it. It just came in waves, and there were times where it took the backseat and other things took priority. Right? I would still go to the gym, but that's the thing is like, it would take discipline. It was like the discipline that I personally don't like, which is discipline that requires force. And because I think discipline is a feature of identity, where like you, for example, I'm assuming it's not difficult for you to eat the right meals. Like it would actually pain you to not have those meals around and have to make the decision to like you only have a few options. You have McDonald's over there, you have whatever it is. And like,
yeah, I will,
sure,
I would avoid to go to those places as much as possible.
Yeah.
Like even now when I choose where I travel, whether it's for leisure or business, I check all these things beforehand because otherwise I know it's going to annoy me.
Yeah.
Like if I go somewhere I know there's no good gyms, I'll be like, I don't want to go to this place.
Yeah.
Like that's how much of an impact it's had on me.
Yeah.
It's so you've now had your coach, and it's what type of training are you doing?
I don't even know what it would be called. I don't exactly know the split yet. I'm getting into it this week, but it's all focused around the main movements. I would argue it's like the power building stuff.
Yeah.
So gaining a bunch of strength on squat, bench, deadlift, different complementary movements to help with weak points related to those. Like today I did rack pulls. I've never done rack pulls in my life to help with the sticking point in a deadlift and other volume work towards the end of the workouts. But before that, I've done 3-day full body. And for some reason, I just do not like that. I would only do it because like business would start to pick up and it'd be one of those busy seasons and I had to cut back down. Up until now, my favorite routine is literally just 7 days a week. Torso, arms, legs, repeat, take a day off when you need it.
7 days a week.
I enjoy it. Yeah. Well, that's the other thing, routine. Like like when I can do the same thing every single day and my day is just filled with priorities and things that I enjoy or deem important. Those are the best days.
Nice. You're known for building a business for literally only writing 2 hours a day.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it's a lot more than just those 2 hours a day where you're actually working. So what is a typical day look like for you?
Yep. I wake up, I go on a morning walk and then I clean, shower, brush my teeth. And
you're not listening to anything. It's a silent walk, or you're listening?
It depends how I feel. Right now, I'm listening to reality transurfing because a lot of people have been recommending it to me. It's
is that the Naval?
No, it's like one of those esoteric books that...
Is it a huge...
It's big, yeah. Does Naval recommend it? Yeah.
No, who's the author?
Vadim... I don't know.
Somehow because that's sitting on my shelf. I've not attempted it yet because it's so big.
It's
but
big.
the transurfing...
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've probably heard... It's just a different point of view. Like once you're studying... I don't know if you're interested in this stuff, but like studying theories of everything or just the universe or how reality is structured in general, once you study enough of those, like even like Christianity, other belief systems is what I would tell it, how you make sense of the world. Once you study enough of those in depth, the principles start to interconnect. So I'm reading through it now and I feel like I know a lot of it. But if someone were to go into it without really knowing about it beforehand, I think they would either perceive it as like, this is some weird shit, or it would blow their mind and they'd get really interested in it and start going after different perspectives. What was the question?
We talked about your daily
2
routine.
hours. Yeah. So I listen to that on my walk and then I get back home and I'll write for 2 hours. So the topic of writing 2 hours a day, that video that blew up and then people made a bunch of other videos around. When you just look at the title and thumbnail, this goes for a lot of videos, is like you just assume that that's all there is. But my writing for 2 hours a day, that's true. But the building a product on top of that or managing emails or support or other things or other administrative work, that comes later in the day. But the crux, the priority, the thing that fuels my business as a whole is writing a newsletter for 30 minutes, weekly newsletter, stack up 30 minutes over 7 days. You have a pretty good newsletter. You spend a lot of time on it. Social media content for the rest. It's just social media content, newsletter. 30 minutes is kind of a rough guideline. It's just 2 hours, I'll write the newsletter, I'll write social media content, I'll spend time structuring them, formatting them, editing them, pushing them across all other platforms. And that's the distribution for my entire business, really, because the newsletter gets turned into the topic for the YouTube video that week. And I kind of treat it as an outline that I read through and kind of riff off of. So it's...
Okay, so it's like the newsletter is almost like the script.
Yeah, exactly. And same with the tweets. Like I take my best tweets, I literally copy paste them to other platforms, and then I take the best ones of the week and I'll just sit in front of the camera and do reels where I just kind of read the tweet and then give a bit more of my thoughts on it. And since the tweets already perform well, I can assume that they're going to perform well as reels.
Yeah.
So it's like do my best to create high performing short form written content and long form written content. And then that's kind of like me testing whether or not they'll work. So when it comes to turn the newsletter into a YouTube video and the tweets into reels or short scripts, they're most of the time a tiny bit better, and they usually do pretty well.
Yeah. And this is mostly you doing a lot of that work.
That's me doing all that work. Aside from video editing, my editor, Devin, he does editing and support now. He's done that since 22.
Yeah. That's kind of good because I've noticed now with a lot of creators, it feels like it's just becoming increasingly less of the creator and more AI or maybe one of their team doing the scripting.
Thoughts on this, yeah.
And then they're just reading off a teleprompter. Like, it's actually crazy now how many people I see that are doing this like short form content where they're either reading off a teleprompter or doing like a fake podcast interview where they're not looking at the camera, but they're just kind of like, they got the microphone there, acting like they're having a conversation.
Yeah.
And it's just like nothing feels real anymore.
Yeah.
Like, it's not genuinely the creator actually saying what they're thinking or, writing what it is that they're thinking. I feel like it's just other people doing the work for them. Everyone's getting lazy.
Yeah. I mean, there's a time and place for that. Like, Alex Hormozy seems to do a lot of his own stuff. At least like he talks real to the camera, or it's clips of him talking real to someone else. But in general, it's like, I don't expect like massive business owners to be able to come in and have a super authentic personal brand. It's kind of just like content has become a department of their company. Just fine. I get it. Cool. If people want to follow them and keep up with them, all good. But if like your personal brand is your thing, or you are a creator, then I think this is your time to stand out, because with AI and with just outsourcing content as a whole, they're kind of throwing away their edge, and they're so focused on just what's the next topic that's going to hit and trying to ride that wave, but they're not doing the thing that makes people love the connection they have with you as a creator. And to me, that, or at least for my brand, is I feel like that lies in the vision or the narrative that you're leading people along. What are you helping them with? What's the North Star? All of my content falls under right now is I want to help people become future-proof. And so when they're all reading my content through that lens and I'm helping them get closer to that, they form that closer connection with me because I'm either changing their behavior or getting some kind of result for them or making something click in their mind because it's leading towards something more, right? If I were to just go and take the next most popular topic and post a reel about it, that's not going to do too much for them. That's not going to help them.
Yeah. Do you feel like it becomes increasingly more difficult to talk about new things? Because, when as a creator, it gets to a certain point where you're like, oh, well, I've kind of already addressed this.
Yeah.
I've already discussed this. Or do you feel like there's always something people need help with?
No, I think there's a lot of value in repeating yourself in a new way. So what's an example of this?
How to grow your chest.
Oh, well,
because, I made, with my story, I made all these videos, and this was back in the day when it came to like building a physique. And I was like, I feel like I've touched on the basics. Go watch the videos again. It's You don't need like much more. If you just do what I tell you to do, you'll get there. But in reality, it's almost like you have to just go back and say the same thing again, but just package it a little bit differently. And obviously maybe address a younger audience that maybe didn't know who you were prior to, you putting the content out.
Yeah. That's a good one. Because for something like training chest, like that's just like you go and train chest. But how do I put it? It's kind of like you have to think of the journey that the other person is on and who could come across that video. Where if you were to repeat yourself, just literally create the same video, which a lot of people do and see success with, like you could do that and probably see some form of success. But that's not really fulfilling to you because you just feel like you're repeating yourself. So if you go the route of talking about reasons as opposed to like protocols or processes, then that's what gives people a new perspective and may get them to start training chest or get in the gym or start back up again and get obsessed with lifting again. Is I just needed that perspective shift. Right? People are following you, yes, because you can tell them how to train chest, but they also want to understand your perspective and philosophy behind fitness because that's the thing that's going to keep them in the gym, right? The young people go because they went through a breakup and want to just like go on some deranged anime arc. But like the older you grow and you start to fall out of that more, you need like this stack of reasons. You need the philosophy as to why that should be a part of your life. Like for me, walking, of all things, I could talk about that in so many different ways because one, circadian rhythm. You go out first thing in the morning, get morning sunlight, like Andrew Huberman says, helps your sleep. It's also a relatively decent form of cardio. If you don't like running, at least start walking. It's better than nothing. If you want to stay lean, another thing, I could just go on about how being lean and being somewhat attractive is beneficial for how people perceive you in terms of status. Generating ideas, solving problems, emotional management, all of these different things, the reasons behind walking itself, I can go on and on about that. And then I start to create, like people start to adopt those ideas as a part of their identity. And then the more they get into walking, the more they make it a part of their life. And then they're responsible for it, but their connection grows with you because you got them into it.
Yeah. I feel like some people just need a kick up the arse every now and then and need that motivation.
They need that all the time. I need that all the time. And like as I said, I've been in the gym for so long. One of the main things I listen to on one of my walks throughout the day is I'll throw on some kind of fitness video, right? And I'll just, even if it's stuff that I've heard before, it doesn't really matter because it's like, I'm me. I like that stuff. I can be reminded of the fundamentals, and I probably need to be reminded of the fundamentals because if I'm not, then you usually forget it.
Yeah, that's why every now and then I like to be coached by a coach.
Yeah.
But a coach who knows what they're doing. Like ideally the best in the world.
Yeah.
Because even when I train, I never think I know it all. And I never think that, if I go to the gym, that was the absolute perfect session. There's nothing I could have done better. There's always like room for improvement.
Question for you there. I mean, you've been in the gym for so long. Like, is it still that obsession for you? Do you still wake up every day and I mean, maybe not really.
Yeah, it's weird. There has been phases where I didn't get excited about it as much, but I've noticed with me at least, my environment can have a massive impact on how much I enjoy the gym.
Like environment at the gym?
So let's take, for example, Dubai.
Yeah.
Just the sheer selection of state-of-the-art gyms, huge facilities, amazing machines, great communities, like interesting people there, maybe hot girls there, and some of them as well. It's like I enjoy being in that environment. Now, there's been times where I remember when I was in the UK, maybe have just one gym membership and I go to the same gym every single day, like 5-6 times a week. It was like the machines weren't great, the atmosphere wasn't great, the music was terrible. Like all these things added up and made me not enjoy the experience of going to the gym. But when you can, first of all, go to a gym, which is a great environment, and there's lots going on. And then there's, on top of that, the added variety of switching it up. So you're not always going to the same place every single day. I mean, there's pros and cons of doing this. I've just found that I enjoy it a lot more. And maybe just switching up my training, knowing that I can now do a lot less than what I thought I had to do. Because there's this whole thought of, oh, you know, the bodybuilders go to the gym and like destroy themselves, like shifting heavy weights, screaming, like in the gym for an hour and a half, 2 hours. And I realized you don't have to do that. So I've found this like perfect sweet spot where I can do the least amount required to get the absolute maximum results. So I go to the gym, I feel like I can give more, but I don't need to give more because I know exactly like how many working sets I need to do, for example, so that the following day, well, for the rest of the day, I'm not completely destroyed. I can still go home and do work. The next day, I'm not like super sore and like destroyed. I can go to the gym again and train and have lots of energy. So it's finding the sweet spot where you got like the perfect amount of volume where you can see results, but also you're still full of energy. And it also helps when you look great as well, I think. You know, when you've been, when you've put in like all that work for years and you look in the mirror and you're just like, fuck, like it's, when you're strong and you look good, it just becomes a whole lot more enjoyable as well. All right, guys, quick pause here. I've got a question for you. How is your summer physique coming along? We're only a couple of months away before you will be gracing the beach, the pool. Are you in shape? Are you not in shape? Is there work to do? Most likely. If so, I have the tool for you, which is going to help you out massively. It's the Thirst app. This is something which I personally use myself when it comes to my training and my nutrition. I have all the programs in there which I use on a regular basis. And for those who are just looking to lose a bit of body fat, the same thing goes for women as well. A lot of people don't realize that I used to coach for a large chunk of my life. So all of my coaching experience has been put inside of this app. I want you to learn as much as possible about how to get yourself in shape. There's exclusive videos in there telling you how to do it, how to execute exercises properly, the foods which I eat, and a newly added nutrition section where you can track your meals and your daily macros. It is pretty much this pocket-sized version of myself, which you can carry around with you all day, every day. So if there's something which might interest you, which it definitely will do, I highly suggest check out links in the description. Head over to the Thirst app, get it downloaded. You will not regret it. Now let's crack on with the episode.
One thing that you taught me, and I don't even remember what video this was from, what exactly you said, but it was a video of you where you were talking about just nutrition in general and the foods you eat and being able to digest them well. Mm-hmm. And something about, wasn't exactly this, but the types of food you eat reflect in your body.
Yeah.
The way that I interpreted that and the way I kind of like found out about it through doing it myself is like when I eat on point, night and day difference. Like it looks like I've lost 10 to 20 pounds.
Yeah. Your face is like leaner.
Yeah. You just look so much better. And then seeing that just keeps you on that. And then the trap there is like once you start eating out every night, or even if it's nice dinners, man, like I would eat out like 4 nights a week and it would be like a steak dinner, something decent, I think. And then when I would stop doing that and just clean everything up, again, night and day difference. And I'm like, holy crap, like I didn't actually gain 5 pounds. I just like was holding so much water and like,
it's really weird to have enough self-awareness to realize that there's a lot more improvement that you can make. Because even when I was making the videos in my mid-20s, like I look back now and I'm like, I look awful. But even though I thought healthy, I was just not eating what my body actually wanted. There was a lot of processed food and just foods that my body didn't agree with. And it just caused me to be like quite inflamed and like have this puffy appearance. And at the time, I thought that was like as good as I could have possibly looked. But it wasn't until I actually tried eating different things and tracking how my body looked, how my face looked, that I realized, okay, eating in this style is a lot more suitable for me versus doing what I was doing before. A lot of the if it fits your macro stuff is really terrible advice, in my opinion.
I agree.
Because you can hit your macros, but you will probably look terrible and also feel terrible, and will probably just be farting nonstop as well.
Yeah.
So you have to. That's why I've always had the approach of not telling people this is how you should do it. I just say this is how I do it. But if you want to figure out what's best for you, just experiment with a load of different things, and you'll find that the combination of foods, even the style of training which suits you and actually gets you to your goals.
Yeah.
I wanted to touch on talking back to your daily routine and what it is that you're doing with the content you're creating and so on. Am I right in saying that you've been quite reluctant to like build a big team of people? You'd much prefer to do as much as you can by yourself, and then if anything does need to be delegated, then
For my
you'll take the hit.
side
Yeah,
of things.
just everything.
Yeah. Well, I have a team.
Apart from the software business.
Yeah. For content, I just don't see where people could come in because it doesn't take me that much time, right?
Yeah.
Like it's a very simple process of like the 2 hours in the morning of writing. Like that's what I limit myself to. And since I limit myself to that, I think it's easier to like, it's Parkinson's law. I give myself 2 hours a morning to do that. It fits within that time or else my business suffers, right? The only thing I needed help with was the video editing, and I do talking head videos. So like, I don't need a videographer.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
not like
need
you're doing a vlog,
Yeah.
like a lifestyle vlog.
Yeah, if I had a podcast, I'd definitely get some kind of a team built around that. But just for what I want to do, then I kind of like managing most of it.
Give me some help then, because I think I'm a good writer.
Yeah.
When I actually sit down and get past that initial 20 minutes of brain fart and procrastination, once I get flowing, like some good stuff comes out. What general advice would you give to people like me who are not the best at writing or just very bad at being able to concentrate for an extended period of time?
Are we talking like long form newsletter or short form tweet?
I'd say longer form.
Longer form?
Yeah.
The first thing is kind of like training in the gym, where you start with a certain program and you get used to it and you try another one and you start to learn more and more. Start with some kind of framework. So you can look up on Google 10 copywriting frameworks. Copywriting frameworks usually work well. Just don't sell super hard in it. Instead of selling like your product or service, just sell them on the solution and tell them what the solution is right there in forms of step-by-step advice. That people find a lot of value in that. The simplest framework that I always come back to is like problem. What's the problem? I have a topic. In the introduction, I just need to explain what the problem is. How do most people think about this? If the topic is how to train chest, okay, how do people train chest wrong? Why do people not, or why is having a small chest the worst thing in the world that's not going to get you any bitches, right? It's like all of these little
Which is
things.
very true.
Yeah. But after that, you have the problem in the introduction, and then I like to section it out in as many ways as you want. You can either do problem in the introduction, section 1, which is like you're kind of just explaining the concept of what you're going to talk about, right? The theory. The third section is then the practice. So problem, theory, practice. Practice is the step-by-step advice. What do you do? Theory is like your perspective on the situation. So the problem with not training your chest is you're not going to be attractive. My philosophy or perspective on this is that a big chest is what makes everything, right? It's a show muscle. You should probably train it. Here's why. How do you train it? Then you give the step-by-step advice. Sometimes it's just one tip, right? And you do that.
And then at the end, buy my course.
Yeah. Or whatever it is. Like dude, I get the course hate. I like to make fun of it too, but I have this weird view of it where like courses have benefited my life in so many different ways, whether it be fitness programs or business or whatever. That's how I learned outside of school, right? You can find a lot of it on YouTube now, but like investing in something is some kind of like pressure to actually do it. So of course there are a ton of terrible courses out there, but there are definitely decent ones that I think are forming. It's not like a centralized school, but it's kind of like a decentralized education system where people at least have resources where they can pursue their interests further at much less of a price than college or so on and so forth. That said, the industry is pretty fucked.
Yeah, it's a shame that those individuals or large amounts of individuals have kind of ruined it for the actual legit people who really offer great courses.
Yeah. I mean, it's been happening since, not to pin Russell Brunson, but since like the ClickFunnels era, where it was just super exploitative of like the countdown timers, the super hard sales copy, the long funnels, the upsells, all of those things just to get whatever was on the back end.
Yeah, and people were just like mastering the art of manipulating people into just buying the thing that they were selling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always felt a bit weird with that. Like, I don't like to play on people's emotions and then get them when they're vulnerable.
Yeah, that's the benefit of long form writing, right?
Yeah.
Or long form in general, because you don't have to worry about optimizing any of that. It's like once people feel that connection with you, that's the purpose of sales copy to begin with. Is like you're getting, a lot of people are fabricating it and doing it in a manipulative way, but the point of that is to generate trust quick on one single page to the point of them buying whatever you're offering. When you have an audience in social media posts, like you're doing that over time. Like you could probably put something out and just be like, hey, this is live. And a lot of people would buy it. If you sprinkle in a bit of content specifically for that, then it would sell even more.
Yeah. So. It's interesting. I with my vlog, my main YouTube channel, it's kind of branched out into all sorts of different types of content now, but it's more lifestyle. And I kind of missed making the old school fitness gym videos, which I used to make back in the day, which helped the channel to grow in the first place. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to make another channel and it just be about that type of content. And I put the first video out. This channel, I'd posted a few shorts on it years ago, maybe had like 1,000 subscribers. And this first video that I put out it's on like 65,000 views.
That's not bad.
So for the first video.
Wow.
So I'm like, okay, there's still an interest for this. And it was literally just a full workout of me just talking about, this is how I'm training, this is what I'm doing. No fancy edits. It's just like, it's raw.
Yeah.
And apparently people like that.
Yeah. I feel like the pendulum swings quite often from like polished to unpolished. Like a lot of people think that it has swung to the polished end, and now that AI is coming into play, like that can be super polished. But I think what they don't like, AI can probably be unpolished too, and that's going to be an interesting one. Is like, what form is that going to take, and then is the pendulum going to swing back? But overall, I like to think of either, like, people focus on that. Okay, should I get the video background? Should I do whatever? Should I not? Should I just film from my iPhone? Should I film from a camcorder? Whatever it is, that has a role, but that's more of like your vibe. What keeps people coming back and what delivers the value is the storytelling and the value itself, right? The problem, solution, story or transformation in between, or the insight, or the novel perspective, or something that makes them feel as if they learned something and that they can try something that will get some kind of result. So like in your video where you're going through the training, you're not telling them, maybe you are, but you're just showing what you're doing. And people, the reason I love watching those videos is because I see one little thing and I'm like, oh, that's good. I'm going to try that. And then that little dopamine hit is what keeps me coming back to you, right? Dopamine isn't only in the form of like capture their attention in the first 3 seconds with like give them a stroke with strobe lights. And it can just be like give them an idea to try. And if your ideas are good,
some people think that everything has to be far too polished as well, which can often act as a barrier from them not actually putting out that piece of content. I know a lot of people who are thinking about doing it, they think, oh, well, it has to be like this. The lighting has to be like this. Like everything has to look a certain way. And even with women, like they won't film a video because they don't like their hair on a certain day.
Yeah.
So like I found it with some of the guests that would come on my podcast, like almost wouldn't even do the podcast because they didn't like the way they looked. But that's a rare case.
Yeah.
But I've noticed, and this is a thing that I've started to notice with vlogging, like even with the Osmo, I feel it's so much more natural for me to hit record when there's inspiration.
Yeah.
And when I'm like, I feel like there's something that I want to say. And usually that inspiration isn't captured when somebody else is filming me. It's like, okay, the cameraman's here, he's going to put the camera in your face, and then like the magic is supposed to happen. But the type of personality that I am, like I'm more introverted, and sometimes I just don't even want to talk, or let alone be on camera, where I have to really force it out of me. Whereas if you can have a camera on you or the setup very close to where you are, where you just press a button and everything's ready to rock, you can just let the magic happen. Yep. Instead of having to, wait for the setup to get built or the cameraman to arrive.
Yeah, that's another writing tip is just keep a notebook or keep a notepad on your phone. Like have somewhere to jot that down, because you're not always going to be able to hit record unless you do reels or shorts. You can do that. But the best habit that I've formed is just when a great idea comes to mind, write it down immediately. And when you go to write whatever it is for that week, you can either turn that into a short form post, or you can turn that into the start of a newsletter, YouTube script. And then the energy is still there, right? Mm-hmm. Because you got the high energy idea. That's what your writing is based around. So even if I film a week later about the newsletter, it's still the unique high energy idea that I'm somewhat passionate about. And I've had a week to develop my thoughts around it. So it's a lot easier to just go in and riff and provide something valuable / novel.
Do your best ideas come to you when you're on your walk?
Most of the time, yeah. Because usually it's weird how ideas work in general. They'll either come late at night. I'm assuming it's because of some brain activity that happens at night, default mode network. On a walk, I usually listen to audiobooks. Like I suck at just sitting down to read. I know I should read more, whatever. I love audiobooks. I can just go on a walk and throw it on and I can burn through a bunch of books. Not that reading, you should read all those books, but the reason I read is to hunt for ideas. What I mean by that is when I have my outline for the newsletter, or I have an idea of what I want to talk about that week, that kind of becomes my frame of reference for my mind. Like you're kind of searching for things. It's like when you say you're going to LA and then someone reaches out to you and mentions something and then it shoots an idea into your head about what you should do in LA. It's kind of like that, right? You make a connection. So when I'm listening to an audiobook, it doesn't even have to be on the same topic as what I'm writing about. I could be writing about business, listening to something on spirituality, and I'll just hear one sentence and then it'll spark something that has to do with business or give me a unique way to frame something in business. So it's less about like I'm absorbing all of this knowledge. It's more so I'm just waiting and listening for that sentence or word to just make me go down this weird train of thought. Mm-hmm. And then I have to write it all down in my notes. And then I take that back, flesh it out in the writing.
And what have you noticed that has resonated with most of the people that are absorbing your content? Like what are the topics that people tend to really enjoy? And what are the struggles or the common struggles which people seem to have?
The biggest one is how there's really no, like you never really know what you want, because a lot of people struggle to figure out what they want in life, right? They think their life is going downhill. They just don't know what to do. They feel lost. And they think that there's just some magic pill waiting that they just don't know what it is. They think there's some kind of knowledge that they're missing, and they have to find it before they can start pursuing what they want. Or they have to just randomly stumble upon the career or the business opportunity or something that then they can go all in on. When that doesn't really happen, it's like you kind of just imagine something. Like you imagine a future where it sounds like a cool idea. It sounds like something relatively fun that you would want to pursue. If you don't have motivation to achieve that, then you get the other end of that, right? You have your vision, you have your anti-vision. What do you not want in life? What scares the shit out of you? For me, it was just repeating the same day. I know it's cliche to say like, oh, I don't want a 9 to 5, but when I was in my 9 to 5, I didn't want to show up there every fucking day for the rest of my life, right? That scared me. That was motivation enough to just think of what is something else that I can do. And then once you have that idea, then you have some kind of starting point, right? And then it's really just up to trial and error, where it's going to be uncertain. That's like the single measure of something that you should do is uncertainty, right? Because the job is certain. Everything that becomes mundane is certain, but business is uncertain. Stocks, crypto is uncertain. Like, not saying get into any of that, but the things with the highest reward come from the highest risk. Risk equals uncertainty. So you kind of need to lean into that. If you can't handle uncertainty or your life isn't set up in that way, then you can hedge against it by creating an environment where the perceived uncertainty is much less. So if you're young, just be broke. Like, sell all your stuff, have your bed, have a laptop, have a gym membership, buy food, like live a very minimal life. So even if you lose everything, you've already lost everything, right? There's nothing to be uncertain about because this is the worst it can get. So there's different tactics and so on and so forth. But the main thing there is mistakes are the path. Like, you make a mistake, you correct that mistake, you make another mistake, you correct that mistake, and eventually life's pretty good.
It's funny when you're talking about being broke, because sometimes I miss that motivation and drive that I had when I was broke.
Yeah, tell me about it.
It's really hard to match that when you start making good money for yourself.
Yeah.
It's like even I sometimes just try to, like, I don't even like seeing the money in my account. I want to just like move it somewhere else so that I'm like close to zero again. And I'm like, oh shit, like okay, we need to start working again. And it's weird when I see some people who are, they're already multimillionaires, yet there's this obsession where they're like, no, I want to be a billionaire.
Yeah.
I don't know where that comes from. I don't think I have it in me.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm that driven to have that amount of wealth. But certain people clearly do. But it's probably something to do with childhood or something. But it's like,
billion's a lot.
Maybe people would look at me and they're like, why are you so obsessed about like looking a certain way? Like, why do you like the gym so much? I've tried to think back where that has come from, and I don't really know.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wish I had like the dedication to the physique more so in business and making money, because I'd have way more money if I had that drive.
Yeah. What is your business goal? Do you have one?
What, the different revenue streams that I have?
No. What's the goal?
The goal?
Like, if it isn't $1 billion, is it?
I don't know if it's like a set number. It's just to have enough so that I can continue to do the things that I really enjoy doing. And at the moment, I can pretty much do most of the things that I would like to do. Obviously, there's quite a few things I can't buy, but I've come to the realization that I don't actually care about owning those things, because I know it won't make me feel any different. So that's good. I get a lot of satisfaction from experiences and travel. So I would like to continue to travel in luxury and stay in nice places, and then bring other people along with me, whether that be friends, team, soon, eventually, like a family.
Yeah.
So right now it's like, I'm pretty comfortable. But then it's like, okay, so what, you can have a partner and you can have like 2 kids, and you still want to live this lifestyle. Okay, you've got to earn a lot more so that everybody can receive the same sort of luxury.
Right.
But yeah, apart from that, like, I think when I first went to Dubai, I did get sucked in a little bit of thinking, oh yeah, I want to get the watches, the cars, and like all this stuff.
Scottsdale.
Yeah.
I bought a lot of cars.
Really?
Yeah.
And then you realize it's not actually...
Well, I
Is it flashy around here?
in Scottsdale. Yeah.
Okay.
If you need somewhere to eat dinner tonight, go up. I can send you a place or something like that. But, yeah, Scottsdale's very flashy. I don't know why I bought the first one. It was probably for some kind of status, right? Once I got that first car, it was kind of like hedonic treadmill going up, and I justified it by like, oh, I'm a car guy, right? I'm not a fucking car guy. Like, I like fast cars. I like to drive in them. I don't see anything wrong with owning a car. Like, I'm not demonizing people who own one. I have a pretty nice car out there, but in general, like, I just got caught in that loop of buying the car, it being good, the honeymoon phase being over, going to the next big thing. And I got to the point where like the next big thing was like, nobody needs that car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and then what, you got rid of that? Like the most expensive one you had, you got rid of it?
Yes. Most expensive one I had, we ended up, or I traded that in for a Rivian. And then when we moved to San Diego, we actually downsized that to a Telluride. So it was like family car, like going from top of the world to like what I would probably have if I had a family, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was the car. And then we got to San Diego and realized we needed two cars. So then decided on happy medium, or happy middle. Yeah.
So what drives you then? Like, surely by the looks of things, you're doing quite well.
And money-wise, the thing that drives me is I've realized how much better of a person it makes me. That's
being
really
filthy rich.
Yeah. I mean, like, I have this, all of the good things in my life, non-material, came from pursuing business, right? Business has been my vessel for self-improvement for as long as I can remember. Writing, you have to learn a lot to write. You have to develop these skills. Like, you have to become a very complex person in order to make business work at the level that we're making it work. It makes life that much more interesting because we have all of these different things that we can do. So there's definitely been times where like business stagnates for me and I don't really feel the drive to push. But then it gets to a point where the maintenance gets boring, right? And so pushing for something new is what brings the meaning to life. So it's just pushing for the next financial goal. But on the outside, people only think you're pursuing the financial goal, when in reality, like, you're pursuing the obsession and flow states and all of the knowledge and skill you learn, the development you gain along the way to that next financial level. The financial level is kind of just a number that reflects the journey.
Do you think it's important to have a target number?
No,
in business?
No, definitely not. I don't think I've had one. Yeah.
Like for you, what would you define as being like a successful target to reach in business?
Ooh.
Like, do you go by newsletter numbers, subscribers, how many people bought a certain product?
It's consistent growth. Like, the worst thing, the thing that sucks the most is like when numbers stagnate or start to decline.
Yeah.
Right. Like when my newsletter is my biggest thing, or the thing, it's not my biggest, the thing that I like the most is writing the newsletter. So Substack right now.
So it would mess with your head if people just stopped opening it.
Yeah, it would. I would feel like my life is ending because that's like who I am, right?
Yeah.
So same thing with YouTube. Right now, I don't know if it's YouTube wide. I hate the people that like blame the algorithm, like, oh, like everyone's views are going down because of the algorithm. That's probably some of the case. I take it as a skill issue and that I need to get better at like the content I'm creating. But there's been like different waves in my YouTube career where I'll do really well and then views will go down to something that's still high by that like average standard, but I'm used to them being higher. So I'm like, something's wrong here and I need to change it immediately. And yeah, you go through these waves, but
Yeah, it can mess with your head. I think at some point I let it go, and
yeah,
I just, as long as I was making videos I enjoyed making, then that would be enough for me. Obviously, as long as the views didn't completely tank.
yeah,
And I think, like, looking back, and even a few people have said this to me, like, it's rare that you get people who've been in the game for a very long period of time and have managed to kind of hold relatively consistent views. A lot of people come and go, but I've been in it since 2016.
yeah.
And that there's definitely been periods where it's like, okay, I put out a couple of back-to-back videos that were pretty dead. But I realize now that in hindsight, it was because I just didn't care. So if I if I care less about creating the videos, the end video is not going to be that good. You can tell if someone is passionate about something or not. Like, I would just put a video together because I was like, oh, I just need to put something out.
Yeah.
Whereas if I'm genuinely passionate about the video itself or the topic, it's very easy to see. Yeah. Even now, like, I enjoy making the gym videos. I think I always will do because I'm so passionate about the gym. But now I found this, like, separate channel where I can just do that and not feel like there's going to be people who are going to be bored. Because I know on the main channel now, there's, I've got all sorts of people watching because they just want to see my life through my point of view. And there's a lot of people who are not into the gym and the fitness stuff. So if I go too deep into the gym and the fitness stuff, people tune out.
Yeah.
So I can just find my own audience on that other channel, and then the main one is kind of like for everyone.
Yeah.
It's good and
Makes
bad,
sense.
but like, at the end of the day, you can't please everyone.
Yeah.
Bro. How's it going with your software company? You're in the process of building it still?
Yeah. That is a can of worms. So Cortex in general, note-taking software, has AI integrations on it. One of the big problems that we faced when we were building it is that we built our own infrastructure. We tried to build our own offline sync engine, so offline access to notes, so on and so forth. We took the very difficult route, right? And because we took that route, we had this vision for the product, and it would have taken like 2 years to get there, just because the way we built things required a lot of maintenance. It brought a lot of bugs up, which slowed us down in our development. We probably shouldn't have built it that way to begin with. That said, it's a good software, has a decent amount of users, but long story short, a few months ago, Matt and Ari, the other co-founders, they went off to Japan, of all places, and started rebuilding it from scratch. And just, it's almost ready to go public under a new brand, and it's a billion times better. So we're kind of quiet right now because we don't really have any updates to give about it, but very excited for the next.
Nice little time difference between here and Japan.
Yeah, I know. They didn't have me constantly talking to them. Yeah.
Why did they go to Japan?
Well, they're Asian. They
okay, well, that makes sense then.
They went there because like they love the culture there,
Yeah.
and so that was like their sanctuary to go monk mode for 2 weeks and like get very clear on what it is that we wanted to build in the first place and get a working model of it completed. They didn't tell anyone except for me after the fact, where they're like, hey, here's the problem we're facing. We started building this. It will be 10 times better if we just commit manpower to this and put Cortex as it is on maintenance mode. So for Cortex users listening, you'll get emails about all of this. You've already gotten an email about it, but as a whole, you will be amply rewarded with a better software.
Okay. So is this now going to be the main focus, or?
Yeah. It's intensive, man. Like we talked about not building a team for content, but this has already grown to a team of 8 developers, 3 designers, and it's very we're
How's your team management skills?
it's not
Considering
that
you-
good, man. Like I'm learning on the job, and I'm realizing that is like a hard skill, right? I'm learning every day, but
Yeah, it's difficult if you're hiring people, you really want to hire people who just genuinely care
yeah,
about what it is that they're doing.
we've gotten somewhat lucky there, where like the way that Matt and I got in touch is I was on a call for someone else running a community, and they were teaching like social media stuff. I got on, was giving advice. I mentioned that I was wanting to build an app. He unmuted himself and was just like, "What kind of app are you building?" Reached out to me after, pretty much made us burn down the very first version of it, restarted, and then he like had his network of programmer friends just start to come in. And so they all work out of their apartment, just like 8 people in an office, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and they're all good friends. And the team has slowly been built by like curating further out into their friend group, and we've gotten pretty lucky.
Yeah.
There are a lot of good people.
So it's
Very
all in
solid.
house. You're not working with any agencies or anything like that.
We have one design agency. That's who we started with. And yeah, he was our main designer until we brought 2 more on.
that now do the majority of the design.
Work is split fairly equal between them. I didn't
Mhm.
realize how much design work there can be for a software.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever felt throughout your career where there's been like loads of different opportunities for you to start
Yeah.
businesses? So how have you managed? Obviously, you've gone ahead with this one in particular. But tell me about some of them that you said no to or that never happened.
For the longest time, I've really wanted to start a gym out here. I have been so close because Scottsdale, it has some great gyms, but they're few and far between.
Mhm.
I just want to build like the alpha land of Scottsdale.
Yeah.
Like that's been my dream for the longest time, but I know that will absolutely destroy my focus.
Yeah.
Like I can't.
Have you ever met Christian?
No.
Yeah. So you can just tell that
Yeah.
thing has sucked the life out. He's built an amazing gym,
Yeah.
but even for me, I've stayed away from that because I know the ideal perfect gym that I would like to build would probably kill me if I wanted to build it the way that I would want it to be.
I have this grand vision. It would be so sick, but
Yeah.
it would take a lot.
Yeah. Well, hopefully if you exit this in a couple of
just
years' time,
have other people
then you
do
can
it
just
for
be like,
me.
here you goes. Just throw some millions at it and then
Yeah.
you'll build your dream gym.
Yeah.
But yeah, awesome. I appreciate your time. And where can people find you?
At the Danco on all platforms.
Nice.
Substack. That's like central hub.
Substack.
Yeah.